has been said if there's going to be World War III, the flashpoint will be the Middle East. The amount of wealth in both oil and in hard currency has long made that region of the world one of the hotly contested ones since early 20th century. The Balfour Declaration of November 1917, which partitioned Palestine into two states, one Jewish and one Arab, marked the beginning of an endless suffering for the people of Arabia and Iran. The British Empire, which laid a historical and colonial claim to that part of the world, was soon joined by the United States in forging alliances with despotic Arab leaders whose wealth and power had nothing to do with the subjects they ruled. New York Times correspondent Stephen Kinzer, in his book All the Shaman, explained how British intelligence fabricated lies to get the United States to join the UK in the overthrow of Mohammad Mossadegh, the democratically elected Iranian prime minister. In the view of the Western powers, the coup was at first a success, for they succeeded in reinstalling the corrupt monarch of Iran, the Shah. The overthrowing of Mossadegh serves today as a chilling lesson in the danger of foreign interventions. So confident, the Western powers, they went on to overthrow many other legitimate head of states simply because they refused to bow to colonial and imperialist dictates. Again, in June of 1954, they overthrew Jacobo Arbenz in Guatemala because he wanted to introduce social reforms on behalf of the Guatemalan poor. In August of 1954, the same year, they instigated the coup that brought fascist General Alfredo Trotsky in Paraguay to power. In 1961, they assassinated Patrice Lumumba in Congo for his patriotic stains against Belgian interference in his country after independence. In Haiti, they financed the fascist regime of François Papadoc Duvalier, which led to the slaughter of more than 50,000 Haitians, according to Amnesty International. And the list goes on. In the Middle East, however, competing forces of Arabian riches and the sadistic nature of Arab rulers have made it almost impossible for the population of this region of the world to find salvation. Since 1990, several foreign interventions have led to the dismemberment of Iraq, the destruction of Libya, the decapitation of Syria, the dashing hope of a Palestinian state, and the obliteration of the poorest Arab country, Yemen. It is hard to understand that the richest Arab country, Saudi Arabia, is destroying the poorest one, Yemen, and a proxy war with Iran, while the Western powers stand by and offer lip service to the people of Yemen. Saudi Arabia is the world's most dangerous kingdom that still uses beheading as capital punishment, where women have little rights as human beings. But despite the cruelty, its Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, nicknamed MBS, now in tour in Western capitals, have been receiving with the highest of honor. Red carpets have been rolling under him. In Washington, where he signed a $12.5 billion armed deal with the Trump administration. In Paris, where he signed a $13.5 billion trade deal with the Macron presidency. In the UK, where he donated $140 million for a humanitarian project, and more.
Mr. Speaker, the Prime Minister is due to meet Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman, the ruler of Saudi Arabia. Despite much talk of reform, there has been a sharp increase in the arrest and detention of dissidents, torture of prisoners is common, human rights defenders routinely sentenced to lengthy prison terms, unfair trials and executions are widespread, as Amnesty International confirms. As she makes her arms sales pitch, will she also call on the Crown Prince to halt the shocking abuse of human rights in Saudi Arabia?
Meanwhile, they threaten to bomb Syria for alleged chemical weapon, while the world watches the suffering of the Palestinians who die daily under Israeli bombs while seeking freedom and independence. Assad is in no way a good guy. His hand, just like the rest of Arab rulers, is coated in blood. They're all bad boys. But the word "boy" associated with boy has new meaning for the global powers. He's bad because he's not under my fold. He's good because he's one of my stooges. And Assad is not their boy. He's a Russian boy. So as far as Russia is concerned, Assad is their good boy. Because of this dangerous calculus, the threat of a conflagration looms. For Russia, a global superpower, is supporting Assad, and the West wants to make him pay. For the first time since 1945, the prospect of World War III is not just an unwanted dream. It could become a reality. The question is, will reason prevail? We can only hope so, because no one wants to even contemplate the aftermath of such a war.